Hi, Lucy. How are you?
Very good. Tony, it's such a nice day to see you here today with a beautiful day.
I know we just saw each other this past weekend, too, so it was a fun weekend.
Yeah,
How are you?
very, very good. And you?
I'm good, too good. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my God, I can write a roman. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a big book, but I have so much about me. But first of all, my name is Lucy Volotsky, and I'm running for California State Senate. It's my third time to run for office. And the reason I'm running for office because I'm for the faith, family, and freedom. It's one of the reasons I'm running for office. And it's such a pleasure to be here with you today because I know yourself, Tony. What about you, Tony?
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm Tony Rodriguez. I'm running for California State Assembly District 44, which includes Burbank, Glendale, La Crescenta, Montrose, some parts of the Valley, Salintahunga, Valley Village, Toluca Lake, and kind of the same reason because of you. What's motivated me was what happened with COVID from the beginning, and so that motivated me to get more engaged and more involved. I've always been a community supporter, picking up trash, watering trees, working on the beach, but we have to do more. We can't continue to this more. So I'm using my background. I'm not really a politician. I'm a grandfather, a father, a husband. I spent 26 years in the Army.
Wow.
And I retired in 2005 from the Army. I'm still working, though. I'm still working full time. We got to make a difference. And for me, it's all personal. I have a granddaughter who she has Down syndrome. So I got involved with the State Disability Board. And just to show you what kind of madness happens in today's world, I got involved because the State Disability Board was having a problem with funds. And they started a program on the federal side called Self-Determination. And that program gives the money to the families to decide what kind of treatment or therapy your child or your adult person needs, which is great, right? It goes back to, instead of the government telling me what my granddaughter needs, who knows better about their family members,
That's
right?
correct.
So I got involved with that, and I did that for 3 years, but unfortunately I had to resign because I decided to run for office, so I'm here.
Yeah, it's like me when I decided to run for office. Like I said, I raised a beautiful family. I have 4 kids. I'm a grandma of 7 grandchildren. Been in business for 40 years, and the last few years, but I can say it started like in the 90s for me, to see that the government was not really helping the middle class and not giving any break whatsoever, because what you do, it's always about taxes and regulations, and the first people to get hurt, it's always the middle class. They always said tax the rich, but it's not the solution to tax the rich. It's to make the right decision to lower taxes. And like I says, I've been in business for 40 years, and in the 90s, I almost lost everything with the house bubble also when it came around in 2007. And we also had the COVID came along. So many problems came along with that. So many people getting hurt during this time. And for me, again, to come back to my business, I didn't like what's happening, and because it's so many ups and downs in the business world, small businesses, and the children, what's happening in the school situation, and the kids that they are like we are, I think the 48th rank in all United States is a shame, because California was one of the best places to have educations.
Right.
It didn't happen just in a day. This was been kind of promoted for a long time where we are right now, and they neglecting our children. And it's one of the reasons I said my kids, that's so important, and especially my grandchildren, and what is the future for them. Then I said, that's it. I'm going to run for office. I told my husband, you take care of the business. I'm running for office. I'm not coming back to that. I need to do something, and I can voice what is the big problem we're having in Sacramento, even in Washington, D.C. And this is where I'm at right now. Like I said, I'm running for California State Senate, and I'm very pleased on my actions. And I did so well since I started to run for office. that I feel the people feel like they have hope.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, or Independent, because in the end, people want all the same.
Right.
They want to have the American dream, and we have to give that to them. And like you were saying about when you wanted to run for office, you quit everything
Right.
for running for office because your heart was there for the people, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. And when you talk about schools, right, that's a big thing for me, right, protecting our kids. And in California, we spend so much time trying to teach social justice, right, that we forget about math, English, and science, the things that are important, right, for a young child to grow and mature. And we're focused on a lot of the words diversity, equity. Well, that goes across the board for all of us, right? If I want a doctor, I want a real doctor. If I want somebody flying a plane, I don't want it to be based on diversity or equity. I want it to be based on who's the most qualified for the job. And I think that's where we're kind of falling apart in California, that we're trying to do so much in the social justice side that we forget reality, right? And reality is more important to me, right? Kids need to learn math, English, and science. Kids don't need to be taught anything sexual if, 8, 9 years old. It's ridiculous, right? What's happening in California. Yeah. And then they turn it around. They say, we're homophobic, or it's an LGBTQ thing. Well, no, it's not.
It's not.
When I talk about parental rights, I always talk about all parents, whether you're LGBTQ or not. That's not my point. My point is parents are the boss of those kids, right?
That's correct.
Not the government. I didn't raise my granddaughter or my son so that Gavin Newsom can co-parent with me. I don't want him to co-parent with me.
Well,
right?
Don't forget, Gavin Newsom said, hey, California will be the footprint of the rest of the country.
Right.
And look where we are right now with all this economy and, like you said, the taxes, the educations, everything is lacking, and it's meant to be. But for me, I want to know a little bit more about you, or your background, where you're coming from, and because I think people, they have to know exactly what was your life before that, when you grew up. The family and the brother or sister you have, or what was the relationship. That it's important because people can relate to you, because in a way of life, we have so many different issues,
right,
that people, I think, when they know where you've been through, that you can relate to them. I think this is the most important things today. We need the people grassroots that I have no problem. You are very well educated and to become elected officials. Great. But what really you are, who you are to relate to anybody in this earth that you can help. I want to know about who you are really right now. It's just like...
I get it. Because we're grassroots, people need to know who we really are.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I was born in New York. From New York, I moved to Puerto Rico. I lived in Puerto Rico for a few years, and then I moved back to California in, I believe, 1972. I grew up in Northeast Los Angeles, surrounded by gangs. I met my wife in high school in the 10th grade. I chased her for 3 years in high school before she decided to go out with me.
Oh, wow. You've been patient.
Yeah, I keep trying. Kind of like you, right? We keep fighting, right? We keep fighting. And I did do that to finally get her to go out with me as a senior in high school. I went to college for about 6 months after high school. I wasn't really into college at that point.
It's okay.
I dropped out. I joined the Army, didn't tell anybody until the day I was leaving.
Thank you for your service.
And it's all my doing. I wanted to be part of that military. And so I joined the Army at 19. I came back home from basic training. I married my wife. We didn't tell anybody.
You don't tell anything to anybody.
We didn't. We just got married. We told everybody the day we got married that we got married. The very next day, I left to Germany. I didn't see her for about 6 months.
Wow.
And then she flew out to Germany, and we lived in Germany for 2 years. Young kids. We grew up really fast. We had nobody to help us. You're in a foreign country. 2 19-year-old kids who didn't really know anything about life. But we made it, right? We made it. And that's what's helped us throughout the years, to the ups and downs. She supported my 26 years in the Army, so she's an angel, right?
Great.
Everything that I've done, I owe it to her, because without her, I was never around. Being in the Army, you're always gone. You miss a lot of birthdays,
Of course.
a lot of holidays.
Yes.
So she did a great job with my son. And again, I wasn't the perfect husband because I wasn't there. I have a lot of regrets, like we all do, but I can't change it, right?
It cannot change, but
Right.
I think this is a way of life that what you learn about that you can always bring that to the future.
Right.
That's the key.
And every mistake I've made, I've used it to my advantage to
That's
get better
correct.
at something.
Yes.
And we have a son. He's a grown man. I have 2 granddaughters. We're still very family oriented with everything we do. And before I decided to run, I asked them, hey, this is going to take time away from you.
Yeah.
But they know how much it means to me. And I was afraid to ask my wife to sacrifice more time, but
Yeah.
she's super supportive. And so when I decided to run, they were okay with it. They don't like the negative side of it because, sometimes people say hateful things to us because we're running for office and they don't agree. But I always look at it this way, right? People are going to hate, and if they hate, that means I'm making a difference because they're starting to think about what I'm
That's correct.
saying, right? And maybe I can change some minds, and maybe we can come to some kind of agreement instead of the division that we have.
In fact, even people like they don't agree with you. It's to find the way to have a good conversation with them instead to point the fingers.
Right.
And I think this is what you really you kind of grow with them also. And with time, I realized what you were just said, that maybe people didn't agree with me. But after realizations, after a couple of weeks or a month or 2 months, they completely changed. Oh, to see you were right.
Right.
That is it's to have a conversation. That is great. I'm glad your wife let you do it because people need you.
Well, and I think what we need, in these leadership positions within our country,
Yeah.
whether it's Senate, State Assembly, Congress, even the president, is a common sense approach to life,
That's
right?
correct.
'Cause you have a budget at home, right? You don't deviate from that budget, right? Well, you handle it, you do what you can, right? But the government that we have in place now, it's not their money, so they don't have to budget, right?
They don't care.
They can spend it wherever they want. There's no transparency with us, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
Right. So we need people that have that common sense approach, that stay in touch with the community, right? Like I can't tell you the last time I saw my assembly person was right before the primaries, right? When she was out there trying to get votes.
They always show up
Right.
when it's time for the elections.
Or a
Otherwise,
parade, right?
Otherwise, you don't see them. There is no conversations. It's like mine, who I'm running against, and Eastern people say, "Who is he?" He's been for 8 years our state senator. We never see him. And now he starts to show up because he's afraid of his seat.
Yeah.
And this is but it's better to be scared because I'm not going to let it go because I don't like people that just try to fool us for so many years and they just show up when they please just to keep the seat.
Right.
We have enough of that. Yeah.
Right, and I think people are on both sides are tired of
Yes,
that, right? That you have people that get elected, you don't see them, and one thing I have been promising when I'm out there is you're going to see me,
Yes.
right? And if I can't make it because I'm in Sacramento, somebody from my staff is going to be talking to you
Of
because I
course.
don't want to assume what their needs are, right? Kind of like in your home, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to assume what your husband needs or your kids need, right? We have to talk about things in
Of
general,
course.
right?
Of course.
And there's no communication, right? There's only communication when it's negative, right? There's no communication otherwise. I need to know everything that's happening, good, bad, or indifferent. Like I'm not, I live in Salentahunga. I don't really know what's happening in Sherman Oaks unless people tell me.
Well,
right?
that's why you have to have a communication. You have to have people help you to serve your functions that they can report to you too. That will help you,
And it keeps you sharp, right? Because then you know exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Right. You know exactly what's important to them.
Yes.
Right. We can talk about a lot of things. They like to throw the environmental stuff at us all the time, right? Well, tell the people what it really means, right? So, for example, solar panels. There's no way for us to recycle solar panels.
No.
Right? Look what happened in Texas when they had the big storm not too long ago. it poisoned the water, the underground water system from, from
They are
breaking,
toxin.
say, right?
Yeah.
And wind turbines, you can't recycle those either. So
Oh.
as they go bad, you just keep stacking them up, stacking them up, stacking them up.
Talking about wind turbine, to put this in the ocean, I'm sorry. If you're really for the environment, you don't put this in the ocean. Because you know what? They have to feed with some part of some coal or oil and everything. And when they break down, what do you think is going to happen in the ocean? You will see a mass of oil.
Right.
People doesn't realize that. They think they just done by themselves. Yeah, but there is a certain way to do it, and they should not put this in the ocean.
No.
And what's happening, I think it's Ohio, they're killing the well.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. You see, the environment, they are not really do all the right things to help us to really to keep the nature on the right place. Then this is something we have to work on.
They don't want to tell us that's what it is,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
They don't want to tell you because, for example, Hawaii has in Oahu, they're stacked on one side of the island from all the damage. You can't recycle that. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
They're just stacking them. That hurts the environment, right?
Yeah.
We don't think about that. Also, you have climate change. Really, it's kind of a cloudy issue to begin with, right? We really don't know what's really happening, if it's really happening, right?
Yeah.
They hurt the economy by doing this, right? Think about this. I used to buy a loaf of bread for $2.99. I'm paying $5.99 now
Oh,
at the
yes,
market, right?
I know. It's everything is double.
Gas is going to go up
Yes.
again. It's
yeah,
going
we
up.
see it already.
It's going up again.
Yes, yeah.
Some places it's $7 a gallon here in
Yes.
California, and all that is a reflection of what's happening. We live in a beautiful state, California. It is the best state in the nation, weather-wise. We have oil, we have gas.
Yes.
They're trying to get rid of gas to have electric stoves, right? We don't even have an infrastructure to support any of that.
Well, I always says you can have as many carriage, but you don't have enough horses. How you can pull the carriage is the same thing. If you don't have enough grid, how can you pull some electricity? Then they always do the reverse. They stop. They say, oh, you can have so many by 2030. You can have like a gas car, whatever. And really, is the grid they are ready for it? When we have summertime already, we have a problem. You cannot use electricity. They have to cut you the electricity, or don't use your washing machine at certain times. They always like a conversation like that. They says this is horrible, but we have more than that too. We're looking at the immigration situation at the
Right.
border. Myself, you can see I have an accent, isn't it?
Right.
Well, I'm French Canadian. I came from Canada in 1984. And I always says when you go for a new country, you have to adopt the country and respect the country and to respect the flag.
Right.
I always think this way. If I'm not happy what's happening in your state or your country where you live right now, then of course maybe you can run for office or vote for the right person to change the things. Anything's what you are not happy about. But what's happening right now, we cater for the people coming in for different country to give them, oh, I'm here. You have to, no. Like I said, I come from Canada. I've come from a big family. I have 8 brothers and 1 sister. I grew up like in a very modest home. My father always worked very hard. We never depend on the government to feed us. We had very little, but what we had the most, it was value and love. And we had so much a blessing. We were living on 900 square feet home, 900 square feet home. At that time, we were 10 people.
Wow.
And it's amazing. It's just like, but we didn't feel it because we were always outside. But come back, like, nothing was easy for us. People say, oh, everything was easy for you, Lucy. No, they don't know my life.
Right.
I grew up, my mom, for a time, she was very sick. She had tuberculosis, and she had to be a year in the hospital. At that time, the time to get better, then all of us ended up to go to foster care. My father had to work. It was a very difficult time. And at 10 years old, I was financially independent. I earned my own money. We were not forced to work. went to pick up the strawberries. We went to pick up the cucumber. I passed the newspaper and all kind of stuff. But what really changed a little bit my life, and I felt like I grew up a little bit faster than a lot of people mentally, I had to quit school at 13 years old because I had to take care of the home. My mom, she was very sick for a while. Then I never went back to school. Then I ended up to work in a factory. Then you see,
Right.
working in the factory, I learned so much. People say never if you flip hamburger, don't feel undermine yourself because everything what you do in life brings you something and good purpose. For me to work in a factory, I use it today for so many other things. I know how to do coordinate and do assembly line because I learned that, and it's just my mind. It just worked this way. And went back to school when I was 18 years old. I did real estate in Canada. I was selling homes. The time it was 19% of interest
Wow.
in Montreal. People say, how can you sell homes at 19%? We've been selling homes for all our life and you can do this? But I didn't have our fearless because I didn't know better. And I said, hey, it is what it is. But most likely that the economy was very difficult in the beginning of 1980. I have hard time to put gas in my car.
Yeah. I remember those days.
And you know what? The gas stations was putting and marking, you say you can pay next week. We don't see that today. You know what I'm saying?
You won't see that at all.
You go to the market, you can pay next week. I grew up in a sense like it was a very different time, but I can relate to anybody. I can relate to from the people that not to have anything and the people they can have everything. And this is what people needs in Sacramento, then they can feel you that you are one of them. Don't you agree with me?
I agree 100%. I think that a lot of us are tired of electing people that are unemployed, right, are not working,
Yeah.
or they're attorneys for the city or the state, and they run, right, because they have an in. We need a common sense approach to life
it.
and politics, right? And when I say that, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart because you're going to understand what a factory worker goes through.
Yeah.
You're going to understand what a person that has to live day to day
Yes.
goes through, right? You understand what it's like being hungry. These people don't understand that. I have not met anybody on the other side that has worked hard. They say they do, but they really don't.
Well, let's put it this way. We'll come back at COVID, the time of COVID. And this is how I'm always very analytical, analyze everything, why and not. The time of COVID, the doctor didn't stay home. They had to be at the hospital to take care of the patient who had COVID. Why, when you swear to serve the people and you get public money, when you be paid by the public money, your first things is to check if your family, they're all good, you are safe, I need to go to work. We should have our teacher in the classroom. We should have our elected official in Sacramento and work every day. And the time that everybody, they were home, quote, quote, on COVID, they couldn't do anything.
Right.
Newsom passed around 400 laws. I don't even know what he passed. Just signed 400 laws. What is this? Then whoever swear to serve the public, like I said, they have to check the family they are okay. Mm-hmm. They have to go to work. I learned that when I'm very involved with the emergency preparedness, and this is what we learn. There is a big earthquake today, example, I don't wish, God, please not, but I have to check my family, they're all good. So, okay, have a duty to go out there because what I know, I can help others.
Right.
That this is what we need to change in Sacramento. No break for them. They're getting a salary. They're getting the money from the public. They have to provide. And we have to watch this very closely for the future.
Well, we definitely do. And I think the people need to watch things too. Remember the unemployment money that Newsom
Yeah.
borrowed from the federal government.
Yes.
We were paying people in prison, people that were working. I think it was like 30 something billion dollars, right? And it was a loan from President Biden to Governor Newsom.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand, and I know nobody really cares about it because it doesn't affect them, but it affects small businesses. What people don't understand is that
Yes.
there was a clause in that bill stating that if California defaults on the loan, the taxpayer was going to pick up the tab, which means the business owners,
Yeah,
right?
that's correct.
So this year, what happened this year? It increased. Business expenses increased because of that, because we have to pay that money back to the federal government.
That's correct.
Again, people keep thinking it's free money. It's not free money, right?
It's your money.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they don't understand,
Yeah.
and they poo-poo it because it's not important to them, but it affects all of us. It affects small businesses. And what happens, it affects small business, they're going to pass that cost on to the consumer, right?
That's
At some
correct.
point. So
Yes.
people need to understand that when some of these things that happen, that it affects all of us. You might not have any kids in school, but those kids are going to be the next leaders of our country, right? Our republic. Do we want them to learn from the people we have now, right? I don't want, if I was going to college, there's no way I would go to college now with these professors we have teaching things to
Yes.
these kids that aren't true,
Yes.
right? They're not facts. It's all feelings and emotions, or it's it's going to be based on diversity or, inclusion. The favorite two words of the progressive side, right? Everything's about inclusiveness and diversity.
Yeah, before we forget, a lot of people been pushed also to go to college, and it's not for everyone to go to college. They can have a trade school, like a plumber or electricians or a welder. They can make more than $100,000 a year on their own. Then it is to bring this back, the education of the trade school that you've been taking away, because this will always need that. Doesn't matter what kind of new energy or progress we're having, these three major things we will always need it: electricians, plumbing, or welders, especially because what they do with the robots and everything. There is so many. But come back to the taxes and salary when they raise the $20. I know I'm jumping a little bit here and there, but because I'm in business, I've been in business for 40 years. I'm selling mattresses. I know the progress, what's going on in the mattress industry, but not just the mattress industry, restaurant. And now, of course, they raised the minimum wage at $20 an hour for restaurant, like fast food restaurant. And I know, I feel it. I work in a factory. Oh my God, we had a raise today. I'm so happy. But I didn't know at that time the consequences of, okay, I'm having a raise.
Mm-hmm.
But what that will lead me, then the cost of the product will cost me a little bit more. In the end, I don't have more money in my pocket.
No.
And because as a business owner, it costs me much more as far as taxes, because California will get more taxes on the payroll, federal also, workers come. Then what I have to do? I have to raise the cost of my mattresses. Then who's paying that?
Right.
The people. Then the middle class. People, they can afford it. Maybe they are not too affected. But for me, I don't look at it because you are rich. You are not affected. I'm looking at always on the playing field. Like, it's very important for me what I'm doing, the justice for all, I think, and that's terrible. We have to lower taxes. That's the only way. If we lower taxes, we'll have more rollmen that will roll the process. The money will just generate, and we'll have progress.
Well, there's plenty of money, right? They keep saying there's no money. There's plenty of money. They're just using it for the wrong things.
Yeah.
Kind of like Ukraine, right? Look, I know what's going on. But as a family, I'm looking at this from the common sense approach, right?
Yes.
I take care of my family first. If I have some money left over or food left over, then I help my neighbor, right? And we do a very poor job in our republic taking care of our own.
Yes.
Right? We have, I think there's 750,000 undocumented workers in California that they're getting free money every month, which I don't mind helping people.
Of course.
But we have to help our own first,
Yes.
right? We have people that are hungry. We have families that are hungry. We have people that are living in the streets because of the tremendous cost of housing, right? We need to address those issues first.
Well,
right?
it's all these illegal immigrations coming at the door. They come with a cell phone. Where they collecting? They plugging their cell phone. They all walking thousands and thousands of miles, really, and they come all clean. They didn't see them like they starve along the way, and they're getting like in New York. I do believe here's they're hiding everything here in California from us anyway, but in New York, I think they're getting like $1,200-$1,500 a month, just sitting there, not doing anything. Who's paying for that? It's the people around them, like the little middle class. They really, and middle class getting poorer.
Yep.
That's terrible what they're doing. They really like they don't want us to be successful. They don't want us to grow. And this is what I'm going to come. I'm going to teach any one of us. Doesn't matter what you look like, you can be successful in life. We'll give you the tool for it. Don't let anybody to say you're no good.
Right.
And this is what they want you to think. You're no good. But I'm going to fight for it.
Well, they want us to depend on them, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if we're suckling on them, we're not going to grow. We're not going to get better, right?
No.
We're just going to be mediocre at
Yeah.
best, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
And back to the homelessness issue, right? Not just because of illegal immigration. We do have a problem, at least in California.
Oh, yeah.
That we do. But what people don't understand, people get outraged on the price in LA County, for example, to build a one-bedroom. According to the city council, it's $800,000,
Yes,
right?
definitely, yeah.
Why is it $800,000, right? It shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be. And I'm going to tell you why, some of the numbers, right? We get charged an impact fee every time we build something new, right? The impact fee in LA County is from $150 to $225 per unit. So that's an extra cost added to the unit for environmental purposes, which I don't know what that means, right? What does it really mean? They don't have a definition for environmental. Then any project that is to increase housing is usually a prevailing wage project, right? And I'm in construction, so I know this.
Oh, that's good.
So it's a prevailing wage, which means it's a project labor agreement that they make with the unions, right? So you were talking about electricians and plumbers, right?
Yeah.
So if I hire a plumber that's not union, it's $50 an hour.
Yes.
Electrician, $55 an hour. But if they're under the project labor agreement, they get double salary.
Yes.
So there goes added cost to the project itself,
That's
right?
the problem
So
we're
now
having.
you're adding more to the project. Then on top of that, then you got the contractor who's marking up whatever he or she wants to the project.
Yeah.
So now a house that should have cost maybe $300,000 max is costing $800,000 per unit. So we can't sustain that. That's not going to keep working if we keep doing that way.
What do you think if we can open the pool to anybody if they have all right licenses, everything they can build, that they don't have to be unionized? Anybody can put their numbers in the envelopes, and this is okay. We should, I think, open the pool to anybody who's capable to build that building. Doesn't matter. I don't believe just to keep, even we serve as the public figure,
Right.
okay, or you have to go to the union. Why? I'm not against the union.
Right. No, I get it.
I want to put this clear, but there is a lot people, they have a good organization, a good construction site. They can do things right without to be unionized. Yeah.
Well, and legally they can. That's the funny part, right? You can, and you can even underbid the union, and you're still not going to get the contract because the contracts are being issued by city officials, state officials, local officials.
Then we have to change that.
Right. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a common sense approach to anything
Yeah.
in government, right? We always want to complicate things. We always want to, so we're not transparent about anything, right? And again, I don't mind paying an electrician, but I look at it this way. So instead of hiring one electrician, I can hire two. We have the highest unemployment rate in the nation as it is right now, right? We have a shortage of electricians in California. We need 10% more electricians just to keep what we have going, and we don't do that. Right?
Yeah.
The problem is too much red tape in the government, right?
That's correct.
And not enough transparency. And people not knowing. I truly believe if people knew more, they would be more outraged about certain things.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge that people like yourself and myself have, is we have to let them know what's really happening. And I spoke to this 3 nights ago at Burbank City Council about the cost of housing, because sometimes tenants think that the property owners are greedy, right?
That's not true. It's
But they
just
don't
like-
understand that
yeah.
there's costs, right?
Yeah.
Added fees to these people by the government,
Yeah.
because we have this Robin Hood mentality, right? Take from the rich and give to the poor.
Mm-hmm.
But they're forgetting that you can't really do that. That's a movie. That's a fantasy. That's not reality.
Yeah.
We got to take care of everybody. And the best way to do it is to cut a lot of the red tape, be more transparent with what's going on. And definitely, if you own a business, right? If somebody's not doing their job, we're going to end their employment,
That's correct.
right? If a public official is not doing his or her job, it's the duty of every voter to vote that person out
Yes.
and bring somebody else in to do the job.
And the people, they should pay attention. Forget your D, R, or I, because you pay the price. They don't.
Right.
Then it's up to them really to make the change. Oh, I'm a Republican or Democrat, I cannot vote for that person. No, go by the person really will represent you. Right now, this is very crucial. We have so much work to do, don't you think?
Yeah, we have a lot of work
Oh
to do.
my God!
A lot of work to do.
Anything's happening in the near future for you? Any events coming up or?
I am going to an event tonight. It's a personal event. Some of the people that supported my campaign, flyers, yard signs, they're having a party in Chatsworth at a country and western place. I'm not a country and western guy, but I'm going to go.
Put your cowboy boots.
I have combat boots. I don't have cowboy boots. So,
That would be good. Maybe
yeah.
you can use them.
we have to be, like you said it from the beginning. People have to know who you really
Yes,
are.
yeah.
Not what they see on TV or what they
No.
see online. Who you truly are.
Yeah.
And what you truly believe in.
That's correct.
And I think that you and I really have a lot in common. We believe in family,
Yes.
faith,
Yeah.
protecting the American people from the nonsense, and more importantly is educating them, letting them know what's really happening.
That's it.
And one thing I will do is I will make sure that if there's a bill that's coming, I'm going to let them know.
Oh,
You need to get on the phone and start calling, because they're about to pass a bill that I didn't sign.
well, you cannot wait the last minute. The secret
Right.
is if you know a month and a half before everything happened, you have to put on a phone call, said, hey, they're getting on that bill, because to have the time the people can react to it, you know, it's just very important. I'm going to do the same thing. Oh my God. Could you imagine both of us in Sacramento? How can we be like a strong...
Well, I know they're not going to like me because I'm very vocal about everything.
Did you?
And I'm very candid. We both know somebody that we saw this weekend talking about a bill that they wrote, and they were upset because other people on the other side added some things to the bill, and that person wanted us to reach out to our constituents and let them know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be that way. I want to be the one to tell my constituents, hey, I wrote a bill and they're changing it,
That's
and
right.
this is how they're changing it. And I need your help to start calling and start arguing, because we got to make a difference.
I want people to know, and I'm going to name them because it's very important. They do AB 665. It's about our children at 12-year-old, to take almost take away the power to the parents when the kids are in school.
Right.
And I asked Pilar Chavio a couple months ago, maybe 6 months a year. But anyway, when they passed it, I said, Pilar, I says, why did you tell me? I want to understand, why did you pass that bill? She said, when was it? I said, Pilar, you voted for that. Was it last year? I said, Pilar, it was last week. Don't you know you're voting things on the life of a child? This is the life of a child, and the parents you're taking away, you don't even know that? And I asked the same thing to who? Jesse Gabriel. I said, Jesse, he was with his helper, and he looked at it and said, what is AB 665? I says, oh my God. Oh, he said, how they can vote on things, they don't even know where they are voting. I think they just check the box. They says, we're passing this law. Don't question this. And we'll just check, 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 check. And the same thing with Henry Stern. He does the same thing.
Yeah.
Henry Stern is same thing as Gavin Newsom. What Gavin Newsom does is doing the same thing, is a copy of Gavin Newsom. That's why it's no good for Henry Stern. I know Henry Stern for a long, long time. We even chat together. We kind of laugh together. I'm not afraid to say it, but his policies stink.
Right.
Then we have to stop that. If people want to have a change in their life, they have to start to think twice who they are going to vote in November. It's very crucial. It's like, I'm having a beautiful event. It's coming up. It's going to be May 11th. And we're going to have Suzanne Shelley, that she's kind of the right arm of Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Associations. And the crucial things we're having right now, it's Prop 13, is going to be on the ballot to try to remove it on the ballot in November. The people, they have to know what's going to happen to the Prop 13 if it's been removed. I was just going to give a quick example that if you bought a property in 1980, you pay maybe, I don't know, let's say $200,000. You pay your tax right now up to maybe $4,000. They will bring back at the evaluation what is right now.
Right.
Then for them, the evaluation is not anymore $200,000.
No.
It might be $1 million, $1.2 million. Then they will go accordingly to the amount what is going to be adjusted. Then you end up to pay maybe $10,000 to $20,000 a year instead of your $4,000 a year. Then the people have no clue what's happening to them. People will say, "Oh, come back to the tenant. Oh, it doesn't touch me." Of course, I will touch you, because the landlord will not be able to assume that cost
Right.
of this property tax. Then we assume you will have to pay a big portion of it, because otherwise everybody will go bankrupt. Everybody will lose the property. Then we have to fight for that. Then I'm going to have that on May 11. And also we do have a lady called Dr. Shannon Kroner, who she wrote a book, and the title it says like, "I'm unvaccinated, and that's okay." And she was a first seller. Because not everyone wanted to be vaccinated and at COVID, and it's a personal choice. By the way, I'm not going to name, just to tell you, like what time the mask mandates. This person can says, "Mask, you have to wear your mask." You're not wearing your mask. I went to an event. I caught him without a mask. But you know what? I never tell that to anybody who he was, because you know why? Because I respect him of his choice.
Right.
He chose not to wear that mask that day. But he was always saying to everybody to you better to wear that mask. We have to respect each other of your choice.
Right.
The choice, if you want to be vaccinated or not, mandate or not mandate, whatever it is, it's your choice. Nobody should pay the price because the government says so.
Right.
And we have to bring that to Sacramento to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Right.
But anyway, again, I would love people go to my screen, go to my website, voteforlucie.com, VOTEFORLUCIE.com. You can see what I stand for, all my beautiful endorsement, great people behind me, and great event it's coming up. I'm going to have one in May 14. I didn't upload yet because I'm expecting another guest, but we need all of you to understand that we are not your enemy. We want to be there for you. And this is what we have to send a message for the people. I love people. I grew up to like people, respect people, and I respect all of them wherever I go. I want them to know I'm a good person, then I'm going to help them. What about you?
Well, let us know the cities too, so the audience knows what cities that your Senate district covers.
Oh, definitely. Well, I have Ventura County and Los Angeles County. Then we'll start with Ventura County. I have Simi Valley. I have Moore Park, Oak Park, Newberry Park, Thousand Oaks, and Summit. In LA County, I have like Chatsworth, Northridge, Granada Hills, West Hill, Woodland Hills. I forgot Bell Canyon by Ventura County. Woodland Hills, going up like Tarzana, Encino, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Toluca Lake, and part of North Hollywood. You can see
Big area.
big area, but I'm going to represent all of them. I promise them I will be there for them, doesn't matter what.
All right. So out there, listen, vote for Lucy if you live in District 27. And a little about me.
Yes.
I am running for State Assembly District 44, which is Burbank, Glendale, La Crescenta, Montrose, Salintahunga, where I live, Valley Village, Lakeview Terrace, Shadow Hills, again, Burbank, Toluca Lake, some parts of North Hollywood. Think about voting for me. I'm a common sense approach guy. I'm a blue collar guy. I'm a construction. So I know how to get dirty. And we need to get dirty. We need to get dirty to fix this.
Oh, yes.
And with a common sense approach.
Definitely.
Right? And we need to make sure that everybody is educated on what's really happening, because they've managed to separate us by religion, by sex, the color of your skin. And, that's not us. That's not who we are. So let's make sure that
Yes.
people are educated and understand who we are and what we're about. Really, that's it. You can look me up at Tony, 4 California.us. Or if you look at my website, you can find my phone. I always answer it. Whoever it is, I answer the phone. So it was nice seeing you, Lucy.
And the same here. Before I forget, we are on Instagram. You are on Instagram?
Yes, I'm on Instagram.
We are on Facebook. We are on X. I'm at the Truth. I have a different approach. But pretty much all my digital advertisement, it's about around always Lucy Volotsky or Vote for Lucy. Then I'm looking forward to meet all of you, to be out there and win that race for November, 2024. We need that, because the bottom of my heart, I'm doing that for all of you and for all of us. Thank you, Tony, to be with me today. I enjoy you so much.
Thank you so much. And just know this, I'm a veteran, so I will share a foxhole with you any day, lady.
Oh, fantastic. I'm looking forward for the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.